hoping you'd make it this far. Welcome to episode 3 of Our Business is Growing Your Business. In recap, the first episode, which contained analytics of my YouTube channel, was intended to demonstrate that I have what it takes to bring customers to your door. That was 13 views in that one particular hour. The second episode was intended to shed light on some of the types of businesses that could benefit from my services, and to introduce the features and benefits of having me take care of your online video advertising and marketing needs. Also in that episode, I presented you with a breakdown of my complete line of services. And of course, I let you know about my introductory offer. If you haven't seen either of the first 2 episodes of this series, I urge you to click on the 2 links that you will find below this video screen. Now here are 6 reasons why you should watch this video from start to finish. I know what to do to get the viewers to come to see your video. We guarantee results. We will get qualified buyers, people who are actually shopping for your type of products or services, to come and watch your video, and that's that. And everyone who comes will be coming to see you, not your competitor. Why? Because your competitor won't be there. That is the power of video. Now, this episode was put together so as to answer any questions that you might have at this point. However, I'll also be asking you a number of questions myself. Questions, perhaps, that you might also feel the need to be asked regarding your present methods of advertising. Each tidbit of information contained in this video should be of great interest and benefit to you. So in order to gain the full gist of my message, I urge you to watch it from start to finish without hitting the space bar. The information I'm about to share with you in this episode is quite extensive. So I've broken it up into 3 separate parts. This is part 1. But I'll get right to the point. If you operate a business that's in the general service industry, whereby the services that you offer fall under any one of the following categories. For instance, if your service business involves wiring, plumbing, heating and cooling, renovating or maintaining people's homes, yards, and gardens, or if you sell or service automobiles or recreational vehicles of any sort, or perhaps you're a real estate agent or broker, these types of businesses represent only a handful of the types of businesses that can benefit from the use of my services. Simply put, if you're in the service industry of any type of high-end, high-ticket product or service, you can benefit from the use of my services. And if that's the case, then the contents of this video are for you. My name is Noel. As I mentioned in episode 2 of this series of videos, I have a promotions and marketing package to offer you and your business operation. This package is designed to give you a strategic cutting edge on your competition. To give you a quick summary of what's contained here, I'm offering an exclusive package that's being made available to, and pay close attention to this, only one specific business operation within each of the different trades and service providers within your immediate geographic vicinity. To be more precise, if, after having watched this video, you're able to see the value in what I'm offering, and if you're able to take action by contacting me, then you'll be given exclusivity within your field of business with the most unique, affordable, and effective advertising system available to you. In other words, your ability to take action will close the door on your immediate local competitors from accessing our services. Only one service provider per specific type of industry will be eligible to the service that we provide within your immediate geographic region of doing business. So if you're still with me, I'll begin by asking you this. What do you think would happen in your business if you could duplicate yourself over and over again? If you think that's not possible to do, stick around for the whole duration of this video, and you will see that it is possible to do. But before I get into that, let me ask you some questions about your business and your present methods of advertising. Your services and your methods of going to market, are they unique to you? Or do your competitors more or less offer similar services while also using the same methods of advertising that you do? Are your advertising methods affordable? At this point in time, I can only assume that much of what you might be using is a varied combination of the following. Perhaps you use free online advertising platforms, or you might advertise in newspapers and coffee shop magazines. Chances are you have a website of your own, and you might even advertise on television and radio. Perhaps you do community flyer distribution. And what about advertising in the Yellow Pages book? I would imagine if you are a reputable business that you also generate a certain number of referrals coming to you from past happy clients. My question is this: with the exception of referrals, just how effective are these other methods? Free online advertising platforms may be free, but they still come at a certain cost nonetheless. For instance, they're limited as to the number of ads that you can place at once. They're time-consuming to upload. And a person has to constantly update his ad in order to maintain a first page presence. Otherwise, he gets lost in the shuffle. So taking the amount of time involved to do that, one might ask, just how affordable is free? Because free or not, these platforms still cost you money. As for newspaper and coffee shop magazines, I will agree that newspaper ads can still be effective in that not all people are connected to the internet. But how much can one affordably say in a paper ad? And where's your ad gone when the paper gets thrown out? Unless you're also inserting images, a textual ad just isn't all that appealing. especially so in today's modern society of not only wanting to see images, but those images have got to move. But furthermore, a black and white image in a newspaper just doesn't quite cut it either. In addition to that, how many ads do you come across while reading a newspaper that actually grab your attention to the point of stimulating a purchase out of you? In the event that you have an online presence of sorts, whether it be your own website or perhaps having a Facebook profile or a Kijiji profile, you've undoubtedly discovered that it requires a lot of effort on your part to stay on top in those platforms. And even with your own website, it's got to be continually updated. And it certainly requires a lot of effort to get people to come and see what it is that you have to share with them. Having a website is not necessarily a case of build it and they will come. Nonetheless, a website is still a necessity for branding of your product or service. And as for social media platforms, yes, they certainly have caused their competition to take a back seat to them. In fact, though, they are beneficial and complementary to what I propose to do for you. More on that later. You might even have a YouTube presence. Providing you have the ability to produce a decent video, along with the time to market it effectively, that could end up being, as I will demonstrate to you in person, an exercise in futility. One other thing, having a YouTube presence is not unlike having a website. It isn't necessarily a case of build it and they will come either, because there is much more than meets the eye when it comes to YouTube advertising. But more on that later too. And what about TV advertising? Well, local TV ads are, in fact, a most effective means of advertising. However, they're quite costly. But on the other hand, who watches TV anymore anyhow? I don't. Do you? And as for radio, once again, where's the image? Yes, radio can be an excellent supplemental method of branding your business. But as for effectiveness, does a radio ad actually draw in business? Well, perhaps if you're a burger joint with a whopper of a deal to offer. Other than that, who actually listens to radio anymore either? And as for those of us who do we actually pay any attention to the ads that are aired? And of course, you may distribute flyers around particular neighborhoods. In my personal experience from having spoken to countless numbers of business owners who have done that, yes, some particular types of businesses it works well for, and others practically no. In general, flyer distribution is relatively non-effective in generating a decent return on investment. Then, of course, there are the good old yellow pages. Are they still in existence yet? I personally haven't seen a telephone book in years. Yes, we've all used the yellow pages at some time or another. It used to be the place to advertise in, but we also didn't have much choice back then, did we? And as for advertising in them today, Well, in order to keep your brand in front of people's eyes, it can't really hurt. But depending on the type of business you have, it could also be a complete waste of money for you as well, in that you are just another me too on a page of clutter amongst your competition. And worse still, it only gets seen if the book is opened. And in addition to that, with today's technology, does anyone even ever open a Yellow Pages book? I don't know. I don't. Heck, we have the Yellow Pages in the palm of our hand with our cell phones. And if we're sitting at a desk, we have the Yellow Pages right in front of us with our laptops. I imagine that there are a number of reputable businesses who do well with referrals. But inasmuch as that's a good thing for you, can that sort of promotion alone provide you with enough business to the point of not having to advertise anywhere else? If not, then you still have got to advertise elsewhere, with the hope of bringing in new business. And that's all it is a hope. I'll tell you why I say that in a moment or two. If your referral customers are just trickling in and you find that you still have got to advertise, how exactly are you getting that message across to your new prospective customers? Only you know the answer to that question. And only you know whether you're satisfied with those results or not. Regardless of which type of advertising media you might choose to utilize, they all have one thing in common. Not one of them could or would give you any sort of guarantee of results. In other words, regardless of whether or not anyone sees or hears your ad in any of these advertising mediums, there is no way to measure how many people have actually seen, or worse yet, actually read or listened to your ad. So, back to your overall satisfaction. Are you happy with the amount of new business that your existing advertising methods generate for you? If you are, then congratulations on a job well done. If not, though, perhaps I can offer you a unique, affordable, effective solution to that problem. Well, how can that be possible for me to do, you might ask? After all, you are the expert when it comes to your own business affairs. So what can a complete stranger do for you that you can't already do for yourself? Well, let me answer your question this way. Your job is to run your business. And that could entail doing everything from sweeping the floors to doing estimates, from making the sale to doing the actual service work, from invoicing the job to collecting the bill. Sound familiar? Perhaps in your swirl of putting out fires every day, you might not have enough time, let alone energy left over, to properly dedicate to the complete scope of advertising that you should be doing. The flip side of that story is this. It's quite possible that you employ someone to take care of all of the advertising needs that you require done. And if you do, that's also excellent. And if that's the case, you really don't need my services. Or do you? Regardless of what the answer is to that question, the point I'm getting at is this. In terms of your advertising, does any of what you are doing actually give you a strategic cutting edge on your competition? Or are your present advertising methods just another cookie cutter routine that isn't any different from what your competition is doing? If that's the case, why should a prospective customer buy from you as opposed to buying from them? If all that you're doing is copycatting each other, uploading a limited number of pictures to a website that you have absolutely no control over, along with perhaps writing a small blurb in an attempt to outline your services, that being said, it's really a hit and miss approach, is it not? The prospective buyer who comes across your ads on these platforms might just as well close his eyes and randomly point his finger at the selection of ads that lay in front of him, hence making his choice that way. Why? Simply because no one is really saying or offering anything different from anyone else that will give the buyer a real, true edge on his purchase. Now, I realize that only you know the real results of what you are achieving. And if you're happy with them, then who am I to question that? But if you're not meeting your main objectives, and if you truly want more results from your advertising efforts, if you really want a bigger piece of the pie within your immediate target market, if you indeed want to expand and hire more staff, more specialty workers, more helpers, if you undeniably want to work smarter rather than harder and longer, if you're sure that you want to increase both sales and profits, and overall, if you indeed want to grow your business, then ask yourself this: can I achieve any of these objectives with my existing methods of advertising, or can I not? If you can, then once again, congratulations on a job well done. But if you can't, then perhaps I have the solution for you. Allow me to digress a little here. I've actually taken the time to review quite a few of the picture text ads within this particular advertising platform before having posted this video that you are watching. Some of the ads that I reviewed more or less get the point across to the viewer, while others contain little more than a blurb about their services, along with a few pictures to back up their ambiguous story. Very few of the ads, if any, that I reviewed actually enabled the potential customer to get to know who the person was. I mean, who are you? I'll digress a little further if I can. How do you personally go shopping when you are shopping for a high-ticket item, such as around the value of the services that you sell? Do you only shop for price alone? We all want a fair deal, and I understand that. But do you not also want to feel that some sort of relationship is or can be made between you and the person or company that you're about to buy from. Now, if I were a potential customer perusing through this same platform, such as the one that you and your competitors are presently advertising in, I know for a fact that I would skip by the ads that gave me the least bit of information, and I would lean toward those individuals who tell me more about who they are and about what they can do for me. Does that make sense to you? After all, when a shopper is in a buying mode, they likely want to make the most informed decision that they can before they decide to hire someone. That makes sense, right? And especially so if someone is expecting to spend thousands of dollars, perhaps even tens of thousands of dollars to get their home renovated, or to have a costly repair job done to their vehicle and so on. And if they are, they likely want to feel confident that they're making a wise choice. And that comes as a result of having an idea who the person is that they're doing business with. Yes, forking over their hard-earned money. Is that possible or not possible? So I believe that the more you can share about yourself and your services and your company, the better it is for both you and your prospective customers. If you, as an advertiser, can create an atmosphere whereby the new potential customer will come to feel that he knows you and could likely get to trust you, the more likely it is that you will at least get a phone call from him. Better a phone call than no phone call. Am I right or am I wrong? And that's where we come in. We're in the online video advertising business. Yes, we are new to this industry, but we aren't new to the advertising world. And I personally am not new to the home renovations market, or most service-type businesses in general, whether it be on the doing end or on the receiving end. After all, I too am a consumer, as are you. So what's the big deal with video advertising anyhow? So that concludes episode 3. As I had said at the onset, this is quite an extensive amount of information, so please carry on to episode 4 at your earliest convenience. You'll find the link to episode 4 below this video screen inside the comment box. So thank you for joining me so far, and I hope to see you there in episode 4. My name is Noel from GYB Video Promotions, and our business is growing your business.